Coming up today, we're breaking down 10 free agent targets the Raiders should seriously consider signing. Before training camp, you might be thinking, yeah, but will Las Vegas actually make moves? Fair question. As of mid-June, the Raiders sit on about $36.2 million in cap space, which ranks them 5th in the NFL. That kind of financial flexibility isn't something you ignore. And trust me, if even someone like Pete Carroll is out there preaching active roster improvement, saying things like you're either competing or you're not, no time to back away from getting better, then you'd have to be crazy not to at least consider a few strategic additions before camp kicks off. I'm not just talking filler. I'm talking about value plays that fit on the field, in the locker room, and on the budget. Now, I'll be giving you each target in reverse order, from 10 down to the top guy. Number 1. These picks are based on 3 criteria: Vegas's most pressing needs, reasonable contracts, and X-factor potential, meaning guys with coaching connections or upside. That matches what this team is building under Patrick Graham and head coach Antonio Pierce. Let's jump into player number 10, defensive tackle Jonathan Bullard. He's appeared in 34 games, starting 31 over the last 2 seasons with Minnesota. He actually spent 2020 under Pete Carroll, so there's an instant coaching familiarity. He's not going to break the bank, and he brings size and durability inside, well suited to fill a rotational role if there's concern about Christian Wilkins' health. For a team that needs depth on the interior without committing big dollars, Bullard checks all the boxes. Heading into number 9, we look at safety Jordan Whitehead, a 28-year-old veteran with over 100 starts, a Super Bowl ring, alongside Tom Brady, and versatility to play both deep and in the box or cover slot receivers. Vegas's secondary needs immediate help, and Whitehead fits the mold: affordable, experienced, understands the complexities of modern NFL defensive schemes, and has synergy with this staff through Spygate lineage and past defensive approaches. A smart, low-risk upgrade. At number 8, we've got wide receiver Keenan Allen. Yes, the only offensive skill position on this list. Hear me out. The Raiders' current wideouts Dante Thornton Jr., Trey Tucker, Jack Basham have hype and potential, sure. But if the team hits camp and still feels uncertain about depth or poor chemistry with QB Geno Smith, Allen becomes the clear safety valve. He's been consistent for years, 10-plus starts every season since 2017. And he has an existing relationship with the receiver coach now in Vegas, Chris Byer. Throw in Allen's leadership and hands, and suddenly the offense is more reliable in high-leverage situations. He's an insurance policy, but one that comes with everything you'd want in a veteran pass catcher. Cruising into number 7, cornerback Rasul Douglas combines length, size, and a chip on his shoulder. Yeah, his PFF grade cratered last season, but he's been a Pro Bowler before. And at 30 years old, he's old enough to know his job and young enough to still execute it. He's worked with guys like Eric Stokes, has played in defensive systems similar to what Vegas runs, and could slot right in as a polished veteran presence for this corner course. Again, not a long-term solution, but a great short-term stabilizer. At 6, we pivot, yes, shifting from cornerback to safety, because here comes Stephon Gilmore, the oldest guy on the radar. With 48 starts over the past 3 seasons and 180 career games under his belt, Gilmore's the classic "I'm still got it" veteran. Think of someone you'd trust one-on-one on a crucial 3rd down. He's shown resilience through team changes from New England to Carolina to Indianapolis, Dallas, and Minnesota. And he's even got that Tom Brady connection. Yes, Brady's a part owner now. But this reunion could bring more than nostalgia. Gilmore brings leadership, ball skills, and experience. Yes, Father Time is undefeated but versatile, proven. Veterans rarely hang around without reason. He could play corner or transition to safety, a luxury most rookie DBs don't offer. Before diving into the top 5, here's a quick diversion. 4th of July is coming, and my dad is, how do I put this, a little bit reckless with fireworks. Like, definitely not using all 10 fingers by the end of his show. Anyway, I gotta grab a Raiders-themed shirt, and I think a red, white, and blue Raiders tee could become my go-to holiday gear. Something I can lounge around in by the pool, eating, drinking beers, and not worrying if it gets stained. If anyone's got tips to keep my dad's digits intact, drop them in the comments. But back to business. Number 5 on this list is safety Quandra Diggs, not ranked above Gilmore or Rasmussen in talent, but cheaper and perfectly in sync with what this staff demands. Diggs already played under Pete Carroll for 5 seasons, and even at age 32, He delivered a solid 73-point to PFF grade last year. He's reliable in run support and coverage, giving you versatility in a 3-safety defensive package, something Patrick Graham frequently dials up. He'd fit alongside Jeremy Chinn and Isaiah Pola-Mao perfectly, bringing veteran stability to a back end that desperately craves it. At 4, we switch position groups again to nickel corner. Yes, that stand out hybrid spot in Vegas. Enter Mike Hilton. He's 5'9", 185 pounds, but plays bigger than that. He's posted for seasons over 70 PFF and can handle physical, gritty assignments. He's performed alongside linebacker Jermaine Pratt, which tells me he can excel in this rugged, adaptable front, and a nickel spot is an underestimated chess move. You don't just need coverage. You need toughness and instincts. Hilton brings all that and a veteran attitude that rubs off on younger guys. Holding strong at number 3 is Jadeveon Clowney. Think of him as a perfect tweener, enough bulk to slide inside, as a defensive tackle, and enough athleticism to rush off the edge. He's recorded 15 sacks over the last 2 seasons and has played 650 snaps under Pete Carroll in 2019. Earning an 87.3 PFF grade, Vegas probably isn't hunting for a Christian Wilkins clone. But Clowney is the next best thing, impactful inside, disruptive off the edge, versatile, and still physically formidable at 32. He and Tyree Wilson coexisting in a rotation could elevate this front to new levels. For honorable mentions, names like linebacker Kizir White, corner Shaquille Griffin, and defensive tackles Quinton Jefferson and Austin Johnson all popped up in camp visits or tie back to Pete's world, but they land below my top 3. Next up, at number 2, we have safety Julian Blackmon. When he's 6 now, 27 by the time camp starts. He's started 62 games over 5 seasons, recorded 7 interceptions, and tallied 170 for tackles. But more importantly, he's improving yearly PFF coverage grades, rising from 70.6 to 73.5. That's the golden trait coaches crave: coachable, upward crafting, reliable youth. Locking him into a 3-year deal would land Vegas a day 1 starter in his prime leadership window. And that, folks, brings us to my number 1 target. Yes, dropping the mic. But I'll save that for the next segment. Now we've reached the top of the list. And if we're talking about the one free agent who can make the biggest impact for the Raiders this season, it's got to be safety Justin Simmons, no question about it. We're not just talking about a good player, we're talking about someone who's been one of the most consistent safeties in the NFL for the better part of a decade, since 2017. Simmons has started at least 12 games every single season. That level of durability is rare, especially for someone who plays the game with the physicality and range that he does. He's played in 134 games, starting 124 of them, and he's had at least 2 interceptions every single year of his career. That's production you can count on, and in a secondary that desperately needs reliability and leadership, Simmons is the guy. There's also the connection factor. His first ever defensive backs coach was Joe Woods, who just so happens to be the current secondary coach for the Raiders. That familiarity with a key figure on the coaching staff can't be underestimated, especially when you're talking about a complex scheme like Patrick Graham's. Add to that the presence of Brian Stark, the assistant GM in Vegas, who worked for the Broncos from 2012 to 2024. These aren't just surface-level connections. These are people who've worked closely with Simmons, know his character, know how he prepares, and would know exactly how to integrate him into this defense from day one. And let's not forget the scheme fit. The Raiders need a true center fielder, a safety who can cover deep and allow other pieces to move more freely, especially when you're experimenting with 3 safety packages or trying to mask the potential loss of interior pressure. If Christian Wilkins isn't 100%, Simmons can be that anchor, giving Jeremy Chinn more freedom to play closer to the line and letting guys like Isaiah Pola-Mao fill in situationally rather than be forced into every down roles. At 31, Simmons is still more than capable of being that high-level presence in the back end. And with the way this roster is structured, he might just be the missing piece. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are growing loud around the NFL that DEON CAIN, the talented wide receiver with a knack for big plays, has inked a deal with the Las Vegas Raiders. While the team has yet to make an official statement, insiders are buzzing with excitement, suggesting that CAIN's arrival could inject some much-needed energy into the Raiders' offense. Cain, who's had flashes of brilliance throughout his career, may finally be landing in the right place at the right time. After bouncing around several rosters and recently showcasing his explosiveness in spring leagues and camps, he might be poised to turn potential into production, and if the rumors hold true, the Raiders may have quietly pulled off one of the off-season sneakiest signings. The idea is simple but powerful. Give the Raiders quarterback room another weapon. Cain's speed and vertical threat could stretch defenses and open up new layers in the playbook. Observers close to the team hint that he's already made an impression during private workouts, with some describing his burst as game-changing. Of course, nothing is guaranteed. The road back to consistent NFL snaps is never easy, and Cain still has to prove he can stay healthy and contribute on a weekly basis. But in a league where one timely opportunity can redefine a player's legacy, Cain might be on the cusp of his breakout moment. Could this be the move that gives the Raiders a new edge on offense? Nothing official yet, but the buzz around Cain is impossible to ignore. If he lives up to even part of the hype, fans in Vegas could be in for quite a show this season. Stay tuned. This story might just be heating up. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.